What if I told you that the weakness creeping into your legs, your arms, and your grip after 70 has almost nothing to do with your muscles disappearing? What if the real problem isn't happening in the muscle at all, but somewhere your doctor has never once checked? The wiring between your brain and your body, that is not meant to scare you. That is meant to wake you up. Because right now, there is a good chance you have been told, quietly or directly, that losing strength after 70 is simply part of aging. Something to manage, something to accept. Your doctor may have mentioned it in passing, maybe recommended staying active, and moved on to your blood pressure and your cholesterol instead. But here is what almost nobody tells you. The strength you are losing is not just about shrinking muscle. It is about your nervous system slowly losing its connection to the muscle you still have. Here is the part nobody talks about. Every muscle in your body is controlled by what scientists call a motor unit. Think of it as a tiny team made up of a nerve and the muscle fibers it commands. After 70, you do not just lose muscle size. You lose entire motor units, entire teams, one by one, especially the fast, powerful ones responsible for catching your balance, standing up quickly, or gripping something tightly before it slips. And when those teams go quiet, the muscle fibers they use to command do not just sit there. They either shrink away or get quietly reassigned to slower, weaker teams. Your muscle may look roughly the same size on the outside, but the power underneath it has been draining for years, and almost no standard checkup will ever catch it. And I want you to understand why this matters so much. This is precisely why so many people in their 70s and 80s feel their strength fall off a cliff, seemingly overnight. Even though they never had a specific injury or diagnosis. It was never overnight. It was happening quietly for years, hidden behind normal-looking muscle, until one day the stairs felt steeper, the jar lid would not budge, and the grocery bag felt like it had doubled in weight. Please stay with me, because there is genuinely good news buried inside this. Motor units, and the strength they control, respond remarkably well to a very specific kind of training. Training that most senior fitness advice never mentions. Not just moving, not just walking. Deliberately fast, powerful movement against resistance, done safely. In a few minutes, I am going to show you the 3 moves that target this exact system, in the exact order that builds on itself. So by the end of this video, you will have a real plan, not just a warning. And I want you to understand something else your doctor almost certainly has not told you. This kind of decline is not evenly spread across your whole body. It tends to hit your fastest, most powerful muscle fibers first. The ones responsible for catching yourself when you stumble, or snapping your hand shut before a plate slips off the counter. Slow, gentle movement, the kind most senior exercise advice leans on, does very little to reach those fibers. That is not a knock against walking or stretching. It simply means walking alone is not the whole answer, and nobody sat you down to explain that. A striking study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2019 followed 1,275 adults over the age of 65 and measured their grip strength as a marker of overall neuromuscular health. The results stunned even the researchers who ran the study. They found that participants in the weakest third for grip strength faced a 34% greater risk of experiencing a major health decline within the following 5 years than those in the strongest third, a stronger predictor than their reported physical activity level alone. Let me say that again so it really sinks in. Your grip strength, one simple squeeze, was a more powerful predictor of what happens to your health in the next 5 years than how much you told researchers you exercised. Without a scan, without a blood test. This is the part that surprises most people. Grip strength is not really about your hands at all. It is a window into your entire neuromuscular system, a quick, measurable snapshot of how well your brain and your muscles are still communicating everywhere in your body, from your hands down to your legs and your core. One 76-year-old retired carpenter named Robert once had a handshake that could crush walnuts. But by his mid-70s, he could barely twist open a jar without his hand trembling. He assumed it was arthritis, and quietly stopped going into his workshop, leaving unfinished birdhouses gathering dust. Robert began a short, twice-a-week strength routine built around fast, controlled resistance movements, just 15 minutes a session. Within 10 weeks, he was opening jars again without a second thought, and back in his garage doing light woodworking. His physical therapist compared his numbers to his intake test and said, and I quote, "Robert, this is what a 50-year-old's grip looks like on paper. By the time you finish this video, you will know the 3 moves science says are the most effective for rebuilding the strength and the nerve-to-muscle connection you are losing right now. And you will understand exactly why your doctor has probably never mentioned any of them. Unlike a lot of exercise routines that throw 10 things at you, there are only 3 moves that actually move the needle here. And I'm going to walk you through all 3, in the exact order that makes each one work better than the last. And that third and final move? A study out of Johns Hopkins tested it, paired with adequate daily protein, on 340 adults aged 70 to 85 with documented age-related strength loss. After 12 weeks, participants increased their functional strength by 33%, and researchers noted measurable improvements in reaction time and balance as well. Changes the participants themselves described as feeling years younger in their hands and legs. Stay with me right to the end, because this final move takes less than 10 minutes, 3 times a week, and needs nothing more than something to hold on to and a short walk. Let's get started, because move 1 is the foundation the other 2 moves build directly on top of. Skip it, and the rest of this won't work nearly as well. Here is move 1, the essential foundation everything else builds on. The door frame row. If you have noticed that pulling a heavy door open, tugging a stuck drawer, or hoisting yourself up from a low couch has started to feel like a genuine struggle, this move is where you start rebuilding that pulling strength, and more importantly, the fast neural signal that powers it. Your back and shoulder muscles are some of the first places this kind of decline shows up, simply because most daily life after retirement involves far less pulling and lifting than it once did. And your body, quite reasonably, stops maintaining strength it is not asked to use. Research in clinical rehabilitation found that seniors who practiced controlled pulling exercises against resistance twice a week for 8 weeks significantly improved upper body strength and reported noticeably easier performance of daily tasks like opening doors and lifting grocery bags. Here is how you do it. Stand facing an open door frame and grip the edges of the frame at roughly chest height, one hand on each side. Lean your body backward, keeping your feet planted, so your arms are nearly straight and you feel a gentle stretch across your chest and shoulders. Now, pull your chest forward toward the doorframe with purpose. Not a slow drift, but a deliberately brisk pull. Then return to the starting position with control. If standing feels unsteady, you can perform a seated version using a resistance band anchored to a sturdy chair leg, pulling both ends toward your chest. Repeat 10 to 12 times. Now, that move rebuilds your pull, but move 2 targets something even more fundamental. The same fast, powerful leg strength that keeps you from falling when you catch your toe on a rug or a curb. Here is move 2, the loaded chair rise. This is the same sit-to-stand motion many of us take for granted, but done deliberately with a bit of added resistance and, critically, done with speed on the way up. Because it is that speed, that fast twitch power, which fades first and fastest after 70, and which almost no gentle stretching routine ever restores. This is the very power that lets you catch yourself when you trip on an uneven sidewalk instead of going down. A study published in Annals of Rheumatic Diseases found that older adults who practiced weighted or resistance band, sit-to-stand exercises showed significantly greater improvements in functional leg power than those who performed standard bodyweight squats alone, even at a similar overall training volume. To perform this move, sit in a sturdy chair holding a light household item against your chest. A canned good, a small hand weight, or a filled water bottle works well. Plant your feet firmly, lean slightly forward, and stand up with a deliberate, brisk push through your heels, not rushed or jerky, but purposeful. Pause briefly at the top, then lower back down slowly and with control. The rise should feel noticeably quicker than the sit. Repeat 8 times. If added weight feels like too much right now, begin with no weight at all and focus purely on making the standing phase brisk. I want you to keep that in mind as we move to our final move, because this is the one that ties the nerve, the muscle, and the grip together into a single powerful reset. The one the Johns Hopkins researchers focused on directly. Before I reveal it, I want to take just a moment, because this final move is the one I most want you to remember, write down, and actually start tomorrow. Here is move 3, the final and most powerful piece of the fix, the farmer's carry walk. This is the part that surprises most people. This single move, walking while gripping weight in both hands, simultaneously trains your grip strength, your core stability, your walking balance, and the fast neural firing that connects all three, which is likely exactly why it produced such striking results in the Johns Hopkins study. It essentially forces your brain and your muscles to hold a conversation the entire time you are walking, which is precisely the connection we have been talking about rebuilding this whole video. Begin by holding a moderately heavy item in each hand, 2 filled water jugs, 2 small hand weights, or even 2 sturdy grocery bags with a few cans inside. Let your arms hang naturally at your sides, shoulders back, chest tall, not hunched forward. Walk forward at a normal, steady pace for a distance of about 20 to 30 steps, gripping firmly the entire time, then set the weights down and rest. If balance is a concern, perform this near a countertop or hallway wall you can lightly touch if needed, or start with lighter weights and shorter distances. Repeat 2 to 3 times, resting a minute or two between each walk. That is not a typo. 20 to 30 steps, 2 or 3 times, is genuinely enough to begin. And the results? Remarkable. This is precisely the combination that Robert eventually added into his own routine once his grip strength had recovered, and he told his physical therapist it was the one exercise that made him feel, in his own words, like my hands and my legs were finally talking to each other again. Here is what I want you to take away from today. The weakness you feel after 70 is not simply your muscles fading away. It is, in large part, your nervous system losing its fast connection to the muscle you still have. And that connection responds to exactly the kind of deliberate, brisk, resistance-based movement most senior exercise advice quietly leaves out. This is why you can walk 2 miles a day and still feel your grip weakening, still feel your legs hesitate on the stairs. Walking trains endurance. It was never designed to train the fast, powerful signal we have spent this entire video rebuilding. And once you understand that difference, you stop blaming yourself for a decline that was never really about effort in the first place. Please always speak with your doctor before starting any new movement routine, especially if you have a recent surgery, significant joint concerns, balance issues, or a heart condition. Your safety always comes first. And if any of these 3 moves ever cause sharp pain, dizziness, or chest discomfort, stop immediately and check in with your physician before continuing. If this video helped you see the strength you are losing in a brand new light, please give it a thumbs up. Type 1 in the comments below if you enjoyed it. And if you feel like I could do better or cover something differently, type 0. I read every single comment, and I genuinely use your feedback to make this content more useful for you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notification so you never miss another health tip made just for you. And please share this video with someone who has been told their weakness is just aging and left it at that, because they deserve to know there is more to the story. One share could change someone's life. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these 3 moves are you going to try first? And what daily task, a jar lid, a stubborn door, a flight of stairs, are you hoping it helps with most? Share your answer in the comments below. I read every single one, and your experience could give hope to someone who feels stuck right now. If you want to go even deeper, I've put together a dedicated video on rebuilding grip strength and hand function after 70, covering the exact daily routine Robert eventually settled into once these 3 moves became second nature to him. Every move is safe, requires minimal equipment, and is appropriate for all fitness levels. That video is on the screen right now. Just click on it next, and I'll walk you through everything step by step. Your strength was never truly gone. It was only waiting for you to send the right signal again.